Hi, Steve Stine from GuitarZoom here, and today what I want to do is teach you how to turn chords that you already know into blues chords. So often people want to learn how to play blues because it's just a really fun style of music to play and to listen to. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at open chords and we're going to look at bar chords, and we're going to add what we call the dominant seventh, or often just referred to as the seventh, to the chords. And then we're going to embellish a little bit from there and stuff like that. And what you're going to notice is just by doing a couple of small things to your chords, all of a sudden your music is going to start sounding more blues-like. Okay, so don't worry about tablature and all that sort of thing. I'm going to give you that for free anyway. All you have to do is click on the link. So don't worry about that. Just watch what I'm doing and grab your guitar and get ready, and let's try this a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 open chords that make up a blues progression. In blues, we often refer to a progression called a 12-bar blues, which means it's 12 measures long. And it's going to be using the first, the fourth, and the fifth chords in whatever key you're going to be in. So if we're in the key of A, we have A, B, C, D, E, A, D, and E. So we're going to use A, we're going to use D, and we're going to use E. Now you'll notice when I play those chords, if I just strum them as usual, they sound more pop or more rock-oriented, or country or anything for that matter, but they really don't sound very bluesy. So what we're going to do is take those 3 chords right there, and we're going to add what we call the seventh onto each chord. Now, we're not going to get real deep into the theory of all that sort of thing. I just want to teach you how this works. But if you do want to know what the note is, what you do is think about the bass note of your chord. If we're on A, okay, A would be the bass note. So what we're going to add to this chord is the note G, which is a whole step back from A. Again, you don't need to worry about that, but if you are wondering, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take this A chord right here, and we're going to add the note G into it. We're going to take the D chord, and we're going to add, again, think a whole step back from the bass note, which is D. We're going to add in the note C. And over the E chord, if we move back a whole step, we're going to add in the note D. That's what's going to be happening. So let's take a look at this once. So here's A, and I want to add in the note G. So what I'm going to do is add in the G here on the first string, 3rd fret. Now it doesn't matter how you finger this. Like you might bar over these 3 strings and then add whatever finger you want on the 3rd fret there. Some people like to play the A chord with 3 different fingers, and then they'll add their pinky onto that note G, or the 7th of the chord. Whatever works for you, it's perfectly fine. But that's what's going to happen is we're going to take this A major chord, this plain old chord, and we're going to add in that 7th. And all of a sudden we get more of a blues sound. Let's take the D chord and do the exact same thing. Now, we can't really add a finger on to make that 7th that we want, so what we're going to do is we're going to refinger this. We're going to play it as a D7 like this. So we're going to put our first finger over here on the 2nd string on the 1st fret, and that's going to create the note C. Then back to our A7. Then we're going to go to an E chord, and I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to place it on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. And that's how I'm going to get my 7th sound on there. So let's put this together in perspective here. And again, you're going to get the tablature for this, so don't worry about this. It will be in there. But we're going to talk about 12-bar blues. So I'm going to play an A7, a D7, and an E7 in the 12 measure or 12-bar order to make blues. And it's going to look like this. I'm going to play the A for 4 measures. And then what I'm going to do is go to the 4 chord, which is the D chord, for 2 measures, then back to the A or A7 for 2 measures again. So the next section here goes D7, only for 2 measures, then back. Now I'm on the end of the 12-bar blues. I've just used 8 measures or 8 bars, so I have 4 bars left. I'm going to play E7, D7, and A7, and then E7 again. So I'm kind of going around in a circle. So this is the last 4 measures of the 12-bar blues. So it's going to go E7, D7, A7, back to the E7. Then it starts all over. So your 12-bar blues consists of 3 groups of 4. The first group is all the 1 chord, which in this case is A. The second group of 4 is 2 measures of the 4, 2 measures of the 1, which is D to A. And then your last 4 measures is what we refer to as the turnaround. That's going E, D, A, E. So if you've got your guitar with you, let's play this together, okay? So we're going to start off on A, or A7 in this case. We're turning all of these chords into 7th chords. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. A7. 2 more measures yet. Okay, now you got to get to that D7. Back to the A7. Okay, here comes your E7. D7. A7. Back to E7 for the end. And then we would start all over again. So you notice that by making this 12 measure sequence using these 3 chords and then converting those 3 chords into dominant 7, which is just a fancy way of saying 7, okay, A7, D7, and E7, it begins to sound like blues much more than it would have if I just played them all major. Okay, now if you like bar chords better, that's perfectly fine. We can play A7 by taking the pinky off, or we can add the pinky on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and that will also create a 7th, okay, which in this case is the note G. You notice how when I take that pinky off, I've created the 7th, and when I put that pinky here, I've just made another octave of the same note. So I've got 2 different sounds of the same note in there, 2 different octaves. But it sounds pretty cool. So I can do that for my A7. I could hike all the way up here for my D7. I could hike up 2 more frets to my E7. If I just know my 6-string bar chords, I could do it that way. You could do it that way. Or you can play your 6-string and 5th-string bar chords. You could play A7, and then you've got your D on the 5th string, but we want to convert that into a D7. And again, the tab will show you this, and then the E7, and then back to the A7. Okay? So there's a number of different places that you can play these, but what I want you to notice most importantly isn't that you have 700 different places on the guitar to play this. It's that sound of taking a straight, standard major chord and converting it into a 7th sound, which gives you more of a bluesy element, okay? So try that a little bit. Explore the 12-bar blues. You don't have to play in the key of A. That's the example I gave you, but you can do any key you want. But explore open chords. If you're more of a bar chord player, explore moving those into or changing those into 7th chords as bar chords, and I think you're really going to like the sound of it if you've never done that before. So please make sure that you practice hard and you're patient, okay, because sometimes when you're not patient, you get kind of aggravated and then you don't want to play. The trick is to keep playing, so don't get overly frustrated. If you get frustrated, grab a slice of pizza and come back later and try it again. But please remember, the goal with this is to be persistent. Practice it, take your time, really think about what you're doing, and if you're interested in learning how to play blues and you haven't done that yet, this is going to be a great step in the right direction. So take care, and I will speak to you soon.